Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Living Novel. This is a great show you're about to see. A wonderful friend, someone I've known for years, this wonderful Hampton socialite, great personality. Everybody loves her. Everybody knows her, and she's kind of a snowbird. She's, up here in the summer and down in Palm Beach in the winter, and wins these dance contests and also makes people look really good. Her name is Jane Scher, and she's here with us today. And Jane, I love that you made it out here.
Oh,
And that you took you had to take the jitney to come out to see us, and thank you very much for doing that.
and thank
very
you
So,
for having me.
no, it's great. So look, you and I have known each other for so long, and I've mentioned someone else. I used to flirt with you all the time, but we're going to show these great pictures that we have of you and I back at it's like 10, 15 years ago at Christie's fundraisers. But so we'll look at them in a minute. But first, please, in your own words, tell everybody who you are and what you do, because you're magnificent. You've got this following now. You're in demand, and you are changing people's lives by the simple things that you bring to the table. And by the way, you were also one of the first ever to really talk about aesthetic,
Medicine.
So please introduce yourself and let everybody know what I know about you.
So, first of all, thank you for having me here today. And I am Jane Scher, RN, and I've been in the aesthetic business for over 30 years. I'm a little older than I look, but that's because I believe in non-invasive procedures. And actually, I do believe in cosmetic procedures too. So, everyone's talking about cosmetic procedures, but that's what I do. Non-invasive cosmetic procedures. I do Botox, which is a neurotoxin, which is a Botox that will make your face look young. I do fillers, I do lasers. I also do a little therapy on my patients because they all come in and they have, not only do they want aesthetics, but they have some psychological problems, and I tell them, don't take it out on your face. We'll just deal with the face.
Don't take it out on your face. It's funny. There's always that expression. Is like, "Are you having a good time?" And someone says, "Yeah, why?" Some says, "You should tell your face." Yeah, our faces tell a lot, but you make everyone look really beautiful and young, and no one would ever. Something we should do something. We want a contest. Anybody who can guess Jane's age from looking at her, we'll give you a prize, because no one would ever guess that you look this beautiful and stay this young and youthful. And also something I want to talk about, but we'll go into a little bit. But how maintaining a youthful appearance keeps a youthful spirit. And I look at you; you're down dancing and winning dance contests down in Palm Beach. That was fun. And I'll go back to you in a second. But the going to your Facebook page and your Instagram page, you have these wonderful things where you're showing people about procedures, and you've got, you don't call them patients. What do you call them? Clients, patients?
Both.
Yeah.
Either one.
But you do demonstrations, and you explain to people what you're doing. It's educational. Your site, where do people go to find you on Instagram?
Well, Jane Scher, RN, and Skin Tight NYC. Those are my two Instagram handles. And I also have a website, Skin Tight Med Spa.
It's a great website, but your stuff is every time you post something, it's educational. It's like, oh, listen to what you're teaching us there. So it's not just some fluffy advertisement. You're educational in all of your posts, and I love that. And you have all these people being not guinea pigs, but submitting to you doing things on camera, which is kind of good to do. I would. You ever want me to be on camera and you do something?
I'd love to. I'd love to have you on camera. I'll invite you to Skin Tight Med Spa. Jane Scher, RN will take care of you.
That'd be fun. I could use it.
Yeah.
So continue talking about your background and where you do it, and you have an office in
New York
Manhattan
City.
and down in Palm Beach.
I'm
right?
going to be opening up in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
And so my office, my background, where should we start? The background?
Yeah.
Okay. So my background is I became a nurse in the 70s. I think it was, yeah. No, I got married in the 70s. I became a nurse in the 80s. And my husband was a plastic surgeon. And my father-in-law was a plastic surgeon, Dr. Samuel Scher. And I got married. I didn't have an RN degree. I actually didn't have any degree. And my father-in-law wanted me to become a nurse. So and I always wanted to be a nurse anyway. So he helped me get through nursing school, and he tutored me, and we got through. And I got my degree a 2-year degree at Brookdale Community College, which is a community college. And then I went to Monmouth College, got my BSN. And then I had a family, and I worked with my husband as his plastic surgical nurse. And I learned a lot from the American Plastic Surgery Center, which we both opened up together. I did the TV commercials, and I would get on TV and say, now there's a way for you to look better. And I think my real love has always been acting, though, and wanting to be on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Something I didn't know about you, but
Yeah, I know.
so, so acting. Well, let's see what we can do to help you out with that. But nursing is usually a calling. You know, people don't say, "Well, I think I'll do this because of whatever." Usually, it's a calling, a feeling that you want to help people, and that you're compassionate. You can't be a non-compassionate nurse, but so you're compassionate. And now you're turning that into something and making people look beautiful with that same passion.
So my passion is to keep people in the work field, women and even men, and it is important that as we age, that we look as best as we can. And I take care of all ages, though, from like college kids. They come in with their parents, and I do procedures on them, and I do skin procedures, which is I have a laser, which is a #1 laser for some kind of blemishes and that adolescents get. So it's a Clear and Brilliant, and it's by Salta. They made the machine. It's a mini Fraxel, and it actually takes away all of the acne if used properly.
Lasers for acne.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And there's other things we do for acne. I also have a skincare company, but we'll talk about that after. But it's called Skincare by Nurse Jane, and my clients buy my line. And I'm going to put on Spotify now, and we're going to market it. And the products are great. They're medical grade.
Great. You know, it just so a kid needs plastic surgery somehow.
Well, acne.
Just
kids
acne.
go, yeah,
So
I did
just
my
the
own
skincare.
grandson.
Yeah.
I did a Clear and Brilliant on him, and his skin was beautiful after that. And if they use the right products. But once they go to the dermatologist, guess what? They get Accutane. And even for slight acne. And I'm not a believer of that because a lot of medications have a lot of side effects. And I don't believe in subjecting people to side effects. It's almost like the COVID vaccine, and we had to use that COVID vaccine, and now look at all our side effects. So,
well, I respected you when you started talking about the things, even for yourself, the medical procedures for yourself. You're not going to do a lot of medical things, and you don't do that for other people. Even you're non-invasive. You know, it's a better way to do things. I'm not into everything has to be done chemically with all kinds of drugs and everything.
Or surgery.
And surgery, and the side effects from that stuff.
And you do have a lot of side effects. And
Yeah.
I think that people are not aware. When you undergo surgery, you are taking a chance of losing your life.
Of losing your life.
Losing your life.
Wow.
So, I mean, we have anesthesia, but if you look at the deaths that you get from anesthesia, and we've had some very big celebrities that have died from general anesthesia, or even a local. We have a famous comedian, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Not sure.
It's just I'm having.
Oh no, of course.
Yes, you know who.
Yes, and that was tragic.
Melissa's her daughter, and
Yeah,
she's
and that was so tragic. And boy, I never saw plastic surgery make anyone look so good. It made
She
her
was
look,
amazing.
She looked great, you know.
I thought she was great.
Yeah.
And then she died of something very minor.
Yeah, it was.
Taking a polyp off of her. I think it was her vocal cord, but I mean, I'm not there. I'm not sure exactly, but what I read in the
you're taking
paper.
a chance.
Yeah. So anytime you have any procedure, you're taking a chance.
Yeah.
So non-invasive is the way to go. Let's try and take care of some of your problems with non-surgical procedures, which I do.
Yeah.
Botox facials, fillers, good skincare, vitamin C, stay out of the sun, use your SUVs, and you will maintain a healthier, prettier skin.
So I did. There's a registered nurse, Beth, in Bayside. Now you were down in Florida, but I was doing a thing for her, a little commercial. So I submitted myself to be let her do the test. I mean, she wanted to get open her mail customers. She really wasn't getting any mail, so I said, "Well, I'll do it for you." And she did the Pico wave,
The
back
Pico,
and forth and back and
Pico
forth.
signature.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, I left there looking like a hamburger. I was like, holy shit, what the hell is my skin? But then 2 or 3 days later, it's like, wow, this looks really good. And then a month later, it's like, wow, this really did well for me. So I did it a second time and really loved it.
You did?
But, yeah, the Pico wave.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with that. I use IPL, which gets rid of the brown spots, the red spots, and gives you clarity to your skin, which keeps you looking young. And also, it's cancer preventative, because this way, cancer cells that are starting, they'll be destroyed. And all these minor procedures, they have no downtime. Now, when I do my procedures, I don't even have but an hour of downtime.
Yeah.
So,
So you can get
they're...
rid of this thing?
Oh yeah, that brown spot, definitely.
Yeah.
That will go.
Yeah, we got to
I
get rid
hate
of
brown
this.
spots.
Yeah, got to
Yeah.
get rid of this.
Yeah, they're
So-
easy, and it's just a zap. It's
Yeah?
it's nothing with the IPL. It's this great company out of Israel, where a lot of my lasers are from, and it's called Imode. It's a company, and they went on the New York Stock Exchange. It exploded. We always hear, like Kim Kardashian, I had the Morpheus 8, but I really don't like the Morpheus 8 myself. I rather do Fractura, because Fractura is the first generation, which I purchased that machine. And because we think that things are going to get better, sometimes they're not always getting better by upgrading your machinery. So the Fractura, which is the first generation, and I was the first one to buy this machine in New York. And people, then followers all came and they started to buy it. So I am a leader.
So speak to me, speak to like everybody else the way I need you to speak to me is, tell me what that is, Fractura.
Oh, so Fractura is
It's a machine.
radio frequency microneedling. So it's a frequency that goes down deep into the dermis that coagulates and gets the blood vessels to build collagen. And we all want collagen. That's what everyone's drinking, collagen drinks, wanting procedures with collagen.
Yeah.
And that's what we have in our skin. And we have that. And as we age, we lose our collagen. So we want to prevent the loss of it, and we want to restore it.
Wow.
And we can. And there are ways. And that is using an intense pulse light. That is by using radio frequency. That is by using different lasers that will stimulate the collagen. And actually, even our fillers that I use, and I work with a lot of Allergan products. I'm an Allergan injector, and they stimulate the collagen. And what takes collagen away is the sun, and ruining your skin. So we don't want to do that. We want to protect your skin. Sunlight is important. I'm not saying that you should avoid the sun, but not for great lengths. And always use your SUVs, protect your skin.
All right, look, so I'm going to reveal something here, a little vulnerability here, but I use the Harvey Korman school of low-budget makeup artists. So because I'm doing a lot of these videos, and especially the documentary stuff I'm doing and the interviews, I do use go into a sun tanning salon. So it does make me look a lot better on camera. So instead of a makeup artist, I do that.
You do the
How bad
self-tanning.
is this for me?
It's really not my expertise. The sun, these sun tanning beds, but I don't know if they're cancer forming, or I really don't know
I've been
enough
doing it for a
about it.
little while,
But I could tell you that your skin color is nice, and it's like on the brownish side. But it also, I think these skin tanners cause wrinkles
yeah.
and causes the collagen to lose collagen and cause wrinkles.
But wait, just before we move on, so everybody, I just want to make note that Jane just told me I had nice color skin.
Yeah, it's a
Making my
nice.
day, making my day. So but that's. I'm
But we're
glad
not
because
hiding the wrinkles now.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
have deep wrinkles.
Yeah, I got these things.
So you can have the skin. Just come
Yeah.
to me. I'll do the Botox, and I'll put some filler in your face, and even some lasers, and your skin will look a little bit.
Yeah, well, I keep
you know,
looking at this.
restored.
I look in the mirror and go, oh man, that could really help. But I worked with Ira Shulman, Universal Pictures, and we did
Yeah.
8 Heads in a Duffel Bag with Joe Pesci, and he had. I hope I'm okay with telling this, but so we're working on it with Joe Pesci, 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag, and before they did that movie, we had a facelift. And they did this thing where all of a sudden his eyes were like these squinty things. It's like, oh, what did you
Ooh.
do? I would be afraid to do any surgery like that.
But how long were his eyes squinty? Because that
It
should
seemed
not
like
be.
it was, well, it was, I don't know how long after the movie, but through the whole freaking movie. And I said, so I forget how long he did it before the movie, before we shot the movie. But yeah, everybody on the set, everybody was talking about it. It's like, oh my God, this is Joe looked. It's like, and I think that the producers might have been not that happy with it. But so, he was going to do a movie, wants to look a little younger. And they just did too much. And next thing you know, his eyes are like, like slits.
Yeah.
And
Like Chinese, right?
Yeah, it wasn't,
Not a good job.
No.
No, they have
So-
perfected it now. The
Yeah.
eyelid surgery. Actually, I'm thinking about eyelid surgery, and I'm going to give you a little shout out. Well, let's see. Dr. Fagan, he's well-known ocular plastic, and I'm going to have my eyes done with him. I mean, I don't have much, but hopefully I won't look Chinese.
So I when I looked at pictures of myself, I seem to, my eyes are a little squinty. First of all, because of glasses and everything, I was squinted. But I looked like, hey, your eyes are so small. So someone did that thing where you're opening your eyes by surgery on your eyelid that helps it stay wider. That seems scary to me.
Oh yeah, it's a,
So is that what you're talking about?
well, no, a blepharoplasty is if you have some, just for somebody like me, it's just like a little cleanup.
Yeah.
But for somebody who does have the eyelid, they're having a problem with their vision, and the eyelid is causing them to not see properly. They open up the eyes. You remove the upper eyelid skin, and it's called an upper blepharoplasty, and that will open the eye, and it will make your eye look a little bigger. Now they have other procedures where they make the eyes look a little squinty, but all these women want these cat eyes, like Jocelyn Wildenstein went,
Yeah.
and she was the cat woman. I don't know if you remember her, but that was just too much surgery.
Yeah. So the too much surgery, you look perfect, and you
Oh,
don't
thank
do,
you.
and you don't do surgery or anything.
No.
So I would suggest everyone do what you do. But
Botox will open your eye too.
Yeah?
If you do Botox properly, and if don't have too much vision problems, like the whole eyelid over the lid, I mean, I open the eye up with a Botox treatment, and it gives you a forehead lift as well. And today they're doing these lip lifts, and they're not necessary. They give you a scar right here and around here and around here, and they lift the lip up. You could just do 6 units of Botox
Yeah.
and get that same procedure without having to deal maybe with the scar after the surgery.
Yeah.
And what about the anesthesia that you go through? So
yeah. Oh, look, only because we know that we're going to have you back on a regular basis.
wow, I'm so excited.
We'll move a little bit away from the clinical stuff for now, because there's so much to talk about. Because I even want to talk about the duck lip thing that we hear. So
Oh
much
yeah, well
about.
that's overfilled
Yeah, so-
lips, and I
yeah.
never do that.
Good.
I believe in aesthetics to look natural.
Yeah.
Now sometimes I overfill my cheeks, I must admit, but there's a reason why. Because I'm 72, and I want to tighten the neck, and in order to tighten here to fill here, these nasolabial folds will soften if you fill here, and we're That's how you're supposed to inject. You start from up further on this zygomatic bone, and you put the filler deep to the bone, and that's going to lift the neck. And then we do the jaw filler, and look at J-Lo. Her face is filled with filler, but she looks amazing.
Yeah.
And she's an amazing dancer too.
Yeah.
I wish I could dance as good as her.
So look, I want to keep talking about this, the medical stuff and the aesthetics, but we'll have more time to do that. Only because in the interest of time. So you dance.
I dance.
How much fun! I'm looking at this thing that you posted, and you won this contest. I'm like, look at Jane, but the energy, and you were laughing and having fun. I've always known you to have that personality.
Thank you.
But laughing and dancing, having fun. So
that's what life's about.
Tell us
Life
about
is
the
too
dancing
short.
thing with you.
So I was asked by Cancer Alliance. Stanton Colomer, he's the CEO of Cancer Alliance, and he said, "Do you want to dance?" And I said, "Sure." So I brought my girlfriend on too. Her name is Cindy Karen, and we were in this dance competition. It was performed at the Breakers, and we had to go to Fred Astaire dance studio and start to dance. And it was a big challenge because we really worked hard at it.
Yeah.
And I think they had like 8 dancers. And I didn't win the dance contest. I got Best Entertainer by Derek Ho from Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
So there was no winner. There was one winner.
Yeah.
And there was one winner for the dance. But we are all invited back next year. And we will, with Cancer Alliance, be doing an introduction dance.
Great. So Josh has some pictures that we're going to show.
Oh, wow.
Because this
see.
dance contest, Marla Maples was involved.
She was the dance. She was the judge.
She was the judge.
And she said, "Go, girl!" And she loved my costume.
So I want you to take a look at some of these pictures because you are such a great socialite, and everybody. I only took a couple. There were thousands of you with all these wonderful different people. But we're going to take a look. So here you are with. Look how pretty you are. And that's,
thank you.
And that's your daughter Libby, right?
That's my daughter Libby.
And you're with Vicky Schnaps. Vicky and I have known each other for years.
I love Vicky.
Vicky, she's a powerhouse and
she
great
is.
Personality. And her son Josh, I love the family and the daughters. But she's really, you got to look at her and recognize that this is. And she does that thing, the power woman. She's really a power woman. She's great.
She's the power woman.
Yeah, she's the powerful woman. So that's Vicky, and then Jane, look at. I love this picture of you, Jane. This is so good. And look, so you got Paul Anthony.
Yeah,
and Joan.
And Joan.
And Joan.
Good
Joan
friends
looks
of
great
mine.
in that photograph. Who's
Oh,
the
yeah.
one and on the right?
And that's Libby, my daughter.
That is Libby. Okay, but
Yeah.
look at you. That's so classic. What a great shot. And
Thank
I love
you.
that you know Paul Anthony and Joan.
I love Paul.
I've known them for so long too.
Yeah, I have too.
And every year we kind of rendezvous at the different events. Usually the Hampton Film Festival, but they're
yeah.
my favorite people out here.
Which I want to go to. When is it? It's in the fall, right?
Yeah, it's usually October.
I'm going to come.
You'll
make sure I come,
Do
right?
you go down to Palm Beach before?
No, I go back and forth.
Oh, you coming with me this time?
Yeah, I'm going with you.
Lisa.
Lisa Rowland.
So Lisa she's so interesting. Look, Lisa is, talk about spirituality. If you've ever looked at Lisa's posts and the things that she talks about, but it's all very spiritual and mystical, and she's a wonderful personality, and she looks like that. And look at you.
And she's been, if you look on my Instagram, I'm not going to give you tell you anything that somebody doesn't sign for, but she's part of my Skin Tight Med Spa.
Is she?
And I'm not going to tell you what she does, but she's been there to visit me. And
Lisa Rowland.
Yeah,
And,
she's a natural too.
Yeah, she's she's out here, and she does great stuff out here. So there you are over in Southampton.
That's when we just got there
Yeah,
to the
and, look
event.
at you. You wear a lot. You wear white a lot, and it looks very good for you.
Oh, thank you.
It always looks very good for you, and you're always very elegant and
that's my daughter. She's a designer, and that's her bag. She designed that bag.
Yeah.
Scher.
So she had mascara running. Oh, look, so there's
yeah.
me, there's
wow,
Paul, there's
that's
Joan.
us. Wow.
Paul and Joan, they're like my favorite people out here.
They're the best.
But we only get to see them during, usually during the summer or during the film festival when we get to hang out with them.
So Joan came to Palm Beach to visit me.
Did she?
And I took her to Tracy Turco's magazine party.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Joan's another one. Great personality.
Great
Always
personality.
See her, big smile.
She's
and
amazing.
Paul, and they're a lovely couple. And I like them because they're really lovely couple. They
Right.
really, they love each other. They stay with each other all the time. They're a great team, and they're always
are.
funny. And they also, as a couple, they respect each other.
They're great.
In a wonderful way.
They're
I
great
wanna have them-
people.
Paul, Anthony, and Joan. I want.
We love you.
Yes, we love you, and we want
We
you to
love
come
you,
on.
Paul.
Come on.
And
our show.
Joan.
So we'll have them on too. And there's Marla. There's Marla.
She's beautiful,
Yeah.
and she gets more beautiful every year. She has a beautiful heart.
Yeah.
She's really a nice lady, and I'm so happy that she's a grandmother, and I hope that she,
Yeah.
you know.
I met Marla because of Donald Trump. Donald had come out to L.A. and he turned the Ambassador Hotel into a film studio. Actually, I turned it into a film studio for him. Made a lot of money, didn't get fired, had a great relationship with him, but he was seeing Marla at the time, and he had financed Marla's Broadway show.
Oh yeah.
And I'm in the elevator. With him, and he says to a bunch of guys, he said, something, I paid like $15 million for that show, but I only told Marla 10. I didn't want to make her feel bad. And I'm like, what were these people? It's like,
Well,
I'm in
you
some
pay
kind
to
of la-la
play.
land.
Let's
But-
pay to play.
Yeah. But she was lovely. I think what you said was right. She was very sweet, very down to earth, and
She is.
And I don't know why that didn't last, but she was great.
Well, I just actually, she did come. She was there at Cancer Alliance, and she was one of the judges. And she said, "Go, girl," and she loved my costume. And then she spoke over at an event at Trump International, the
Yeah.
golf course, and with a Republican woman that I belong to.
Yeah.
And she's wonderful. She's a great speaker. Her body looks great. Her face looks great. I love her.
So this next picture, she's the only woman I don't know who she is, but she's stunning to me. She looks kind of like a cross between Susan Sarandon
Yeah.
and Jacqueline Bisset. Right?
Yeah.
Who is she? Is she single?
She is single. She is single.
So
I'm having a moment. She's single.
and here
right.
you are, Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
And I've met him a couple of times. So this
He's
is a funny
great.
story with you and the thing with Dr. Oz, right? You have a funny
Yeah.
story with this?
Dr. Oz? Well,
You
it
were
was
feeding
a
your
funny
dog
story.
and-
Well, Botox, here he is. Come
Yeah.
here, Botox. And I don't know why they said I was a vegetarian, because I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in that article they said that.
Yeah.
So don't believe everything you hear or read.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But I love that, and that was at Smith and Walensky, and it was so weird. We're going past Smith and Walensky. Josh, go back, Jody, go back for just a second to the previous picture. I'm on my motorcycle. I'm living in Manhattan for 10 years, and I kept driving past there, and I always thought it was like a typewriter repair place. It said Smith and Walensky, and
Yeah.
I thought it was like a
Oh.
typewriter store. And then finally one day I said, wait a second, steaks and chops. And then I went in there, and I wound up getting addicted to the place. But
The food is great.
Yeah, it's great.
Great.
And they had that back room kind of thing, which is kind of like a little bit, a little sneaky place in the back.
Yeah,
but,
it's great.
But yeah, so you had this, and then the next picture is kind of fun because so I know it was serious, and I know
Okay.
we shouldn't make a joke about it, but you took a fall in the
Oh, yeah. I took a fall in Pottery Barn.
Yeah.
I was decorating my spa,
Yeah.
and it was Black Friday, and I was out in the Hamptons at my daughter's house and visiting her for Thanksgiving, and I had a patient that wanted to get done that day, and of course I always run for my patients, so I went to New York that day, and they were delivering some furniture and some bedding, and I went into the store because they brought me the wrong bedding.
Yeah.
So I went into the store to go change it, and it was the second time I had been in the store that day. But the second time, the cellar door was open, the cash register was right in front, and there was a hole in the floor, and of course I wasn't looking down. I think people should look down. Maybe they shouldn't look up, or maybe they
Yeah.
need eyes up and down. But anyway, I wasn't looking down, and I walked right into this hole with the secret door, cellar door in the floor that was covered with a rug before that in the morning. So I never thought that, and I just felt like I went down into an airplane, like just fell out of the airplane. I went down
dropped to the
18
floor.
feet,
Wow.
and I ended up in the emergency room. and I had a concussion, and I tore my shoulder, and I tore my ACL, and I had stitches, and they told me that I was lucky that I was not dead and not in a wheelchair and that a paraplegic. So I was very lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
And when I read it, now again, we know it's not funny, but I had to love it. I mean, this thing, I'm like, well, leave it to Jane to go wearing Van Cleef and Arpels, have her Birkin bag and in a fur. If she's going to make a fall, she's going to do it in style.
I had my J. Mandel mink jacket on, and and I had my pocketbook, my Hermes Birkin bag, and thank God I didn't have my doggy Botox with me. Thank God.
Yeah, that would have been really bad.
He wasn't there. So I always try and look at the glass half full. And I didn't make a big deal out of it. But I really was injured, and it went to page 6. And
and they took it too lightly.
I made a joke of it. And it really wasn't a joke. I was seriously injured.
Yeah.
And I settled right after that because I didn't want to go through any lawsuits. And the reason why I didn't want to go through a lawsuit was because they had an insignificant finding. When they did the MRI on me, they found a benign brain tumor, which is a meningioma. And that was removed. And it took 2 years. I watched it. And they said, you're going to go blind if you don't remove it. And I survived brain surgery.
Wow. Well, you're a survivor, period.
Oh, yeah, I'm a survivor. Survived a lot of things in my life.
Yeah. So the next picture we'll take a look at. That wasn't the end, was it? No, of course it wasn't the end. There's a couple of great ones. There's a couple of you and me in there, too.
You want me to go up and pose? Oh, why don't we show the picture with me dancing?
Yes. Oh,
it's on my Instagram.
One.
That's a great picture.
Yeah, I think we might. I'm not sure if I had one.
I'll give it to you.
We'll see. But
is
if you have
too
one
late?
good, we can just
I
hold
have
up to
it.
the camera.
It's right on my phone.
So,
Let's just do it.
So you have to see Jane dancing, and she was great and energetic and
I got
fun.
Best Entertainer, and it's 72 years old. I think that I stayed in the right shape. So here's my Instagram. Okay.
But we do want to go to those pictures at some point with Jane and I. It was at least 10 years ago at a Christy Brinkley fundraiser. And,
that
COVID,
too.
But great pictures of us together.
Yeah, I love Christy. I did a TV commercial with Christy, a lipstick commercial many years ago. I was a SAG actress. So, and I don't know if you know this about me, but I was a rapper as well. Did you know that? You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that.
I opened that.
Somehow that's going to slip by me.
I was a rapper.
Yeah.
I had a record contract, and instead I went through a divorce because my husband said it's either your rap career or you're going to stay and work in the plastic surgery practice. And I opted
either
for
rap or plastic surgery.
I opted for rapping,
Yeah.
which I never got to rap anymore because he went for custody of the kids, and I won the custody battle. But it was just an ugly time in my life. But like you said, I'm a survivor, and hopefully I'm going to survive a few more years.
Yeah, you'll be surviving, and you still look the same.
Well, that's because non-invasive medicine. So I'm looking for this thing with
staying young. Something. While we're talking, so what are your eating habits? What do you eat to stay young?
Okay, so I try and eat protein and vegetables. I maintain a very healthy diet. Okay, I try and stay away from carbs, although I do eat carbs.
Yeah.
I'll have pasta once in a while. I love bagels. I love bagel and lox. Of course, I'm Jewish, so of course I grew up with that.
Bagels are a weakness of mine, too.
Yeah, especially if they're good bagels.
Yeah.
What's your favorite bagel?
Oh, a toasted everything bagel.
I love that.
Yeah.
I like the flat ones, though.
Oh, the flagel things?
The flagel. And toast them.
But all the seeds things, what is that, diverticulitis or something? When
if you maintain a healthy lifestyle, you shouldn't have any of that. But sometimes, hereditary and all the other problems.
I make sure I keep working out every day.
Well, that's important. And hydrate. They say that hydrating is very good to prevent dementia. That's all I've been hearing. Have you heard that?
I better hydrate very well then, because I'm worried about my brain. my brains. And Clinton, President Clinton was on the Sunday morning news, and he talked about hydrating. 'Cause he
Here's
had a
Cape
problem.
Heart, a picture from Cape Heart of me. But then there is a video, which I'd love to show you.
So,
And there's a,
so
that's a Cape Heart picture.
I don't know if we can get that into focus, but it's still not quite in
That's
focus.
Derek Ho,
So
one of the judges. But I'm looking for the dance. And I'm going to show you that in 1 second because I'm really proud of that. And let's see.
So, and while you're looking through that, so I want to know more, like, about you personally, like, the state of, what your take is on the state of, like, romance and love and
So here we are.
and sex, and it doesn't have to be in that order. You could go right to talking about sex. But, so, oh my God. Okay. I saw this thing. I was so blown away.
So that's my Cyrus. And that was in front of like 2,000 people. And I designed my own costume as well.
Look how great you are, Jane. You're just so much fun. And look at these legs, huh? Check out those gams. I never knew why they called legs gams, but I think we should bring that back. Certain words from the past, the gams. So look at how energetic you are there, and you're dancing, and everybody's cheering you on, and I just admired that so much. I saw that thing. I loved you for that.
Listen, we have to have a zest for life. We have so many hardships in our life, and the best thing that I can recommend to you and myself and everybody, because we're all going to have, Botox. You want to come on? We're all going to have people and haters that are going to want to make us feel miserable.
Oh God, haters! This is something that you and I talked about, and I saw that thing, and because I want to talk about, there's so many things I want to talk about. So
many haters out
there.
there.
But that relationship between mothers and daughters is so complex,
Oh,
and you
wow.
have a complex relationship with your daughter, and I'm listening to that, and then also it's like. So many women that I know have these complex relationships with their daughters, and the way that's changing now through time, and then we're also this uptick in narcissism. If I don't hear about narcissism one more time, but it's all over the place. Everyone's talking about narcissistic and female narcissism has a name to it, and then covert narcissism has a name to it.
Oh,
But,
gosh.
but-
And narcissism. It's like,
But the generation now, you had mentioned, and it's true, that the generation now seems to be more narcissistic than we ever had before.
and they're gaslighters. So I listen a lot to this lady. It's Mom's True Tea. And she has a child that has abandoned her. And my children sometimes abandon me too, and I'm sure every mother's child abandons them at some time. And it's a very hurtful thing for children to behave like this and then call their mothers narcissists after we've done everything for them. I mean, I know my children, not only did I raise them, I supported them. I was the sole supporter after a divorce. I was divorced at a very young age, and it's very hurtful to be called a narcissist by your child, who you've done everything for your children. And I have two successful grown-up children, and at the age of 40 and 45, call me a narcissist. It's really hurtful.
And when people do call someone else a narcissist, a lot of times they don't know what the qualities are. Like a narcissist, the way you can decide from one to the other is if there are two people and they're both being called narcissists, which one has empathy and which one does not. And our narcissists have no empathy and no feelings about what they do to anybody else, or with no caring about what effects they might have on someone else, who don't care about other people. So,
So how does a child call a parent a narcissist when they've been caring for them their whole life?
Exactly.
And did as much as they can? Are they supposed to just not care for themselves and just totally care for the child?
Yeah.
No, a parent has to take care of themselves in order to take care of a child.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't understand this, but these children, adult children, calling parents narcissists after we have fed you, taken you to the doctors, housed you. This is
Always there for you.
always there, went to every school outing and all your curricular activities, and you call your parent a narcissist? Shame on you, children.
Yes. Well, that dynamic, I want us to talk about that some more. We don't have that much time left, but I want us to come back because I want to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about
that
it.
dynamic is so crazy. So many women that I've known, and someone from last year's film festival, I did an interview with mom and daughter.
Yeah.
And I watched this dynamic and the conversation between them, and the posturing and the acceptance by the mom, and the almost aggression by the daughter. It was like, whoa, that's intense. You women are intense with each other with that relationship.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And it's because we entitled our children too much. I did everything for my children, even though they say, we didn't ask to be born. Well, hello, you were born, so get over yourself. And I did everything.
I didn't ask to be born?
Yeah, oh, did you ever hear that? We didn't ask to be born. Like, okay, but you are here, so enjoy the ride. And you're enjoying it.
I didn't ask to be born. It's
Yeah,
like,
you never heard that?
No, but how grateful.
Yeah, right. I didn't ask to
thank
be
you,
born.
not even a
No,
thank
it's
you.
not a thank you. It's
Yeah.
like you owe your life to me because I didn't ask for it. Now, you have a great life, girls. Enjoy your
I
life.
didn't ask to be born, so you have to take care of me and be something else for me. That's,
I don't know what
make
that
sense out of
saying
that,
is, but
yeah.
I hear it from my kids. I didn't ask to be born. We didn't ask to be born.
Yeah.
Who talks like this?
Well, so we're going to be getting back because I'm looking at the time. So we're going to come back to that narcissistic thing. But do you guys still have some of those slides that I wanted to just finish some of those slides that hopefully are still there. Oh, there were a couple of Jane and I that, really? There was a couple of Jane and I that were so much fun. And they were on that email that I sent over. Well,
Okay, let me
if we
just.
can't find them, we can't find them. But,
So you can't find the slides, but
okay.
anyway,
So the things that I wanted to know about you, I started saying before. So you been around, you know the way the world works. You've seen so many different kinds of people, and so what is your take on the current state of like romance and love and courtships and sex? And you don't have to answer in that order. You could go right for sex. That's fine. But what is your take?
you
on
want to
it?
go right to sex?
Well, it's not a little foreplay, but so
A little foreplay, right? We got a little foreplay here.
Yeah. Well,
We're
so
going to
what's your
talk
take on the way
a
you
little
think about
bit how we get to the sex.
because this is a big topic
So-
for men, because men are feeling like, hey, this is it's not great to be a man right now. You can't move. You can't do anything. I
Oh,
will
yeah,
not
it's
make
scary.
a first move. I won't. You can't.
You won't?
No, I'm not going to approach a woman. If someone is interested in me and approaches me, okay. But a man can't
Really?
approach a woman anymore.
They can't?
No, you can't. You can't make a first move with a woman anymore because there's these unfortunate like traps, and depending on who you are and where you are, and it's not if a woman is sitting by herself, I would do that. I'm certainly never going to approach two women out to have a good time with each other and go to talk to one, because then there's this ego thing that happens between them, and no matter how high value a man you might be, you're going to be rejected. In fact, the more high value you are, you're going to be rejected, because then the woman gets to feel like, oh, see, he wasn't good enough for me, and I'm better than even a good high value man. It's really horrible.
It's
and then also you have
horrible, right?
to, and then you have to be worried about this. And you know something? Talking about controversial subjects, I actually want to say that this could be very controversial, but of all the women that I've hired over the years and had working in my studios and had great relationships with, I don't want to hire a woman anymore. And so you could say, wait a second, you could get you could get sued for that, because that's discrimination. But a man can't hire a woman anymore, because if she doesn't do the job that she's there to do, and then all of a sudden you have to let her go, she's going to claim sexual discrimination and sexual harassment. And I've never sexually harassed anybody in my life, but I'd be damned if I'm going to put myself, after my whole life of living a good life and living by good values and doing right by everybody, if I'm going to put myself in a situation where if a woman doesn't like it, like the way it's going, she'll just call me sexual harassment. And the courts, you just believe women no matter what they say. And even when, here's the thing that men will understand this completely. When our Governor Cuomo, when that woman, the sexual harassment thing was weaponized, and the accusation he made me uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
So uncomfortable.
Right.
Wait, who said you're supposed to be comfortable? And if you're made uncomfortable, maybe didn't your mother teach you how to handle yourself? So where does the blame go if you feel uncomfortable? But immediately I felt he made me feel uncomfortable. Well, what is your threshold for comfort or not comfort? And you should grow out of it. But a woman can blame a man and accuse a man. He made me feel uncomfortable. And next thing you know, in the case of like Cuomo, governor, he loses his career, he loses his family name, he loses all of his money, and it's destroyed. And then they find that the woman who made that accusation, that she really wasn't that credible. But does he get his job back? Does he get his reputation back?
Right.
No, this is way, way too risky. So the law cannot ask me or demand that I put myself in that level of jeopardy by hiring a woman these days. I'm not going to allow it. I'm not going to be putting myself in that position when this sort of thing is happening with women. I know this is a little controversial, but I'm not going to put myself in that kind of vulnerability where I could try to hire a woman and hopefully she's going to work out, but if she doesn't, and I find out that and she's doing something that's not proper, and here's the other thing.
And then she's going to say...
The leaning in. Okay, so women, you're going to lean in and great. You're going to it's so there's so much into this. We're going to talk about this some more time.
There is a lot to it.
But
don't say you're not going to hire them, because then you're discriminating.
So that's my point.
There's a very fine line.
So I have hired women all along and had great relationships with women that I've hired, and every woman that's ever worked for me has respected me because I was always kind of straight and narrow. Even in my film studios, where women come on to you, if you're the head of a film studio, women are throwing themselves at you like, here's a guy power, and they're throwing at you. And I was always a one-woman guy, and the women in my office loved me. It's like, oh, see, we got a really good boss. We love this guy.
What about Harvey Weinstein?
But then that kind of stuff, yeah. So Harvey Weinstein, and by the way, I always thought Harvey Weinstein was gay. I don't know why. I thought he was a big gay guy. And then when I found out that, and he was so disgusting.
He's ugly. He needs my services. Harvey, get out of jail and come visit me at Skin Tight Med Spa.
So, okay, but you understand my point about right now, men are recognizing we are now in a vulnerable position where we are we are so vulnerable and at such risk. If you take the risk out for me, I'll hire women again. But right now,
you can hire me. I'm substantial.
If we are still hiring women, but they're allowed to say I was uncomfortable, and you're going to ruin my career, and you're going to take my business down, I'm not doing it.
I don't blame you. This is disgusting.
It's just too scary. And even like I said, making the first move, it's too uncomfortable these days. And being a single guy and a male is not a great place. But I love my life. I love being a male, and I love the relationships I've had. So except for one, but I mean, I basically love.
Except for one? Which one?
A recent one, and it
wasn't good, right?
No, but
well, we'll talk about that subject another time.
I went against what my usual discernment, and I've been pretty discerning, but I've been very lucky in love. But I was not discerning with somebody, and I found out stuff about them later that turned out like, oh my God, this is like your what? Didn't even know she was. How long into the relationship before I found she was out? She was married and I was still in the middle of a really nasty divorce. Oh, that's another thing. Don't go out with somebody who's in the middle of a really nasty divorce.
Oh, yeah. Don't ever go out with married men either.
Because no matter how much they are pretending they're loving you, they're still angry. It's like, you have to get rid of that baggage before you go into another relationship. But anyway.
I agree. And I've been in those I once got into that, and it cost me a lot of mental anguish.
Yeah.
Don't ever go out with a married man. If he's married, he's no good.
Yeah.
Don't go out with him. And if he says he's single and he's married, the first question I ask a man is, are you married? That's the first thing. That's why I ask him.
So listen, I love that.
They
But-
lie. I want to know if they're married. Because
So-
if they are, I don't want them.
So no,
Or-
but here I had a curveball thrown at me, and I liked it. I was fascinated by it. Very attractive woman. I'm hanging out with each other, and we're going out, and then I did find out later that she was married. I said, "Oh, you're married?" She says, "But no, we practice." She called it ethical non-monogamy. I said, "Ethical non-monogamy? Where are these terms?" Who's making up these terms? But at the same time, it's like, okay, so does that
It's
mean
called a weirdo.
Is
It's a
for
weirdo.
cheating on it, but it's okay, or that we have an open marriage. Open marriage.
Weirdo.
I love being in love. I love falling in love. I love being with somebody that I can engage with, and then being part and merging with somebody very closely.
Yeah.
That's where it is for me.
Yeah,
So,
and that's where it should be.
Yeah.
But these people that want to have a relationship and then have another relationship, and how many? And wait, where's the boundary?
Yeah.
There are no boundaries here.
Yeah.
You need clear boundaries.
Well, I found ethical non-monogamy to be an interesting. I had never heard it before, and I said, "Okay, let's consider this ethical."
Well, what is
non-monogamy.
ethical non-monogamy mean?
Well, it's kind of like I guess it's an open relationship. We're both having sex freely to wherever we want to.
And what
So
about the
together-
disease? You're not worried about that?
Well, that too, yeah.
Okay.
I
Ethical non-monogamy
Yeah.
sets me up for the GYN.
yeah. So, well, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're promiscuous. I mean, maybe you're still discerning, but you are free to have a sexual encounter with somebody that you might be attracted to. But it doesn't mean the end of the relationship. I don't know.
It's called open marriage.
Yeah. So.
It's an old term, open marriage,
Yeah.
which, I'm old-fashioned, so I'm not the right one to ask.
Yeah. But it's all changing. I mean, that stuff is changing quickly, so. But anyway, so there's all these questions I want to ask you. We're not going to have time. I wanted to ask you what your fears are, and if you have any fears, answer this one. What's a perfect male for you then?
One that I'm attracted to.
Yeah. So.
One that makes my heart go pitter-patter.
Yeah. Well, we all look for that. We're all looking.
That's
for
the first thing. If that's not there, I'm not interested.
that. Yeah, I listen for that, and if I feel it, good. And
So at Mar-a-Lago, let me tell you, what the women look for there is like the men are 100 and the women are 20. It's almost like this new relationship we were hearing in the news.
oh, is the coach?
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
his name?
Yeah. Bill.
Yeah, Bill
Not Bill
Belichick?
Self- Belichick.
Belichick.
Belichick. And,
So how old is Bill?
well, he's like 74, 75.
And how old is his
She's
fiance?
late 20s.
Okay, so is that what we really call love?
Well, so what are they getting at it with each other? And,
No, well, one's getting money, and the other one is
or
getting
a name for herself.
a name,
Yeah.
and the other one is getting a big ego
Yeah.
because you're over the hill, buddy.
Okay, but wait, maybe it's not just ego. Oh, look, the time's running out. Maybe it's not just ego. Maybe it's just like the gratification of having a feeling of being back in a younger romance again. Because I look for that too. It's like, how do I, and with anybody that I'm with,
Right.
how do I make us feel like we did when we were in our 20s or in our teens?
Come see me at Skin Tight Med Spa. Bring the girl over, and I'll make her look young.
Okay, so in these last few minutes, so how does someone find you? Name your website so people can, because you have to go to Jane. If you're thinking of anything like this, you have to go to Jane because she's
Well, I'm the real deal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dilute my Botox. I'm not going to overcharge you. My prices are fair, and I'm very talented, and I am the queen of Botox. So I call myself the queen because I do Botox better than anybody.
So we have to say goodbye.
Oh,
This has been wonderful.
this is Botox.
This has been wonderful. Thank
Say
you.
Botox,
Thank you so
you're
much.
a good doggy. Thank you for
Jane
being here.
Scher, we're going to see her again. She's going to be back on a regular basis. Thank you for joining us. The Living Novel. Make sure you log into the BaysideExperiment.com whenever we're on the air. I'll give you a great experience in there. Jody, thank you so much. Everybody here at LTV, we love you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.